Hey guys, Thursday, August 1st, 2024 US session closed. Let's see what the Black Widow has done today. But before I even go there, I want to show you. I was watching a YouTube video of a person talking about Bible prophecy and stuff that's going on currently around the globe and what the Bible says and all that. And he did mention something about 4 of the hottest days ever observed raise fears of a planet nearing tipping point. And I was like, I know here in Nashville has been very hot. And then I see some news that, and this was what posted July the 27th by Sarah. As global temperatures spiked to their highest levels in record history. On Monday, ambulances were screaming through the streets of Tokyo. Monster type, you could continue reading, and maybe it has to do with El Nino. But whatever it is, the earth is getting a little hotter. And I know I feel it here, but Nashville is very humid. But interesting that I picked up on this. I don't know in regards to nat gas if this is like a lagging thing and we're going to get hit with something very hot and then we spike. But nonetheless, I wanted to bring it to your attention because I found that fascinating. Let's look at our market profile. As you can see, we got a value area low of 188 on the monthly. So let's see if the nat gas, the Black Widow, wants to go down there. There's a value area low to watch there on the weekly. Key levels, I mean, there's some over here at 158 and 155. Too far to go down there. You can see volume is still negative or very negative. And on today, with the numbers weren't too great, you can see that the bears and the Black Widow really came in hard. And she's taking out these key levels. And now you're entering into what I call a possible gap fill. It's getting stronger, but I don't know. There's some things I want to show you that I'm like in the middle. I'm like, what's gonna happen here? What's gonna happen? So let me just kind of dance you through my my thoughts. Looking at the simple glance chart, our hockey stick was looking very hockey-ish, but now it's pushing even lower. Volume is increasing. We are counting on the Tom D mark 5th week, but I'm sure there's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 weeks here, but on the Tom D mark is 5th, and yeah, we haven't had a crossover in the MACD yet. It looks like it may want to. So very weak. Numbers didn't help. Let's look at our Andrews pitchfork. You see a midpoint here, but that's kind of like what is that, right here? That kind of finds the support here. You got your gap fill here. Let's look at our channels. So far, we kissed this high here on this little minor pivot, cracked through the green lines, which are the main ones, and maybe could head to this 194. And it was a nice sell off, but it wasn't aggressive enough to get to fill the gap today. So we have tomorrow, and I'm going to talk about that when we get to the midpoint chart. FT levels, so these are DNA levels of nat gas. So this is an area that I'm watching, but it doesn't fill the gap. So this is something we have to look at, which is 191 to 195. And then once you break the gap, you got 173 to 175. Gap fill, this is it right here, 190 to 184. And let's go straight to my SO. So this is it right here. And I'm disappointed that the gap didn't get filled, meaning that tomorrow, statistically, tomorrow is a bearish day. Today was a bullish day, and it started out good, but then ended very sour. And then tomorrow, it's pretty negative. It's very bearish. So, and then next week, it's going to be interesting too. But I'll see if I do a video about that tomorrow to kind of cover for next week. But statistically, tomorrow is going to be bearish. But who knows? You know, the statistics. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So if it says it's bearish, maybe tomorrow we get a turnaround. I don't know, but a lot of things are showing a possible turning point. Some of the cycles that I'm watching that I showed you earlier, not earlier in this video or this morning, but on my master chart, there was a lot of things indicating a possible turning point here, and we are at midpoint of August 2nd. So all we have to see and wait for is volume and a turning point, especially volume picking up. But if it doesn't happen here, and we kind of go sideways to grinding lower, maybe this August 1st, August 2nd, 3rd may be a dud. Just saying. Especially if this gap fill doesn't get filled here. Could be a dud, but we got to see the overnight. And no explosion to the upside, more to the downside. So it's still early, but I don't know. I don't know what the bulls, I don't know what the catalyst, unless that the temperatures start rising and it's getting hotter and hotter. And then the next August EIA report on the 8th reflects, the demand, increasing and supply shrinking. That's the only thing I can think of, that's the catalyst. The heat is gonna really catch up with the numbers. And as low as it go, people are accumulating it slowly. And then once that number comes out and people be like, oh, okay, so you see, now there's demand, and then we pop. But trying to time it, maybe this is not it. The next one I'm watching, well, this is the 19th. We'll probably have another report by then. So this might not work out. Let's look at my other timing points here. Swing chart. Here's 7. So, and now you can see that I fixed some things. We already took out the low from here. So this is a dud. This didn't really pan out. I was thinking this is going to be the turning point from here. But the next one to look for, if the August 2nd doesn't work out, August, what's today? The 1st. Tomorrow's the 2nd. And then Monday's the 5th. If nothing happens by tomorrow and it just continues pushing lower, the only thing I can see is that, do we fill the gap tomorrow? When it really sells? Because then if it really sells and fills the gap, coming Monday, maybe the bulls are going to come and buy it up, getting ready for the next EIA report with all the stuff happening. And then maybe we turn here. So I'm watching this just in case. But so far, I don't think I have anything else to show you here besides those two. It's pretty much the swing chart and the SO. Let's go to our midpoint chart and just kind of see what's happening there. So far, I will keep an eye on 194. That's our April 14 low. In regards to the monthly pivots, you got 183. That's probably your next target. If it gets down there, it'll fill the gap. And our 4-hour chart using our weekly pivots. Remember I told you this morning, be careful. I mean, it was looking promising. But we never really even got to go above 213. It was 212, the high. Once that number came on, people were like, no. And they pushed it down. So targets to the downside, obviously 192 all the way to 185, 184. That will fill the gap fill if we get down there. So watch out for the overnight session. But so far, the 4 hours already telling you, kind of leaning more like any pop shorted. But, it's kind of tricky because it could rip. It could rip your face. So it's like, I don't know if I even recommend shorting here. I recommend maybe, in my opinion, let it come down and maybe somewhere around here, dip your toes. Because now it'd be like, okay, now we got the gap filled. There's nothing else really to technically do unless it just wants to continue going down, which is very interesting, especially with all the heat and all the stuff happening all over the world. The demand has to kick in somewhere, especially, and this is the seasonality and everything. So you get what I'm trying to say, that maybe this is what we need to do. And then for the next report, maybe that's the catalyst where it will reflect the numbers and things really happening. So far, we almost kissed our pivot here of what, 196? Actually, we did. It was 196.5. And now it's just kind of stalling. So for tomorrow, you need to get above at least 204. And if it's going to sell into the overnight, targets to the downside is 188 all the way to 192. So I don't know, maybe it goes like this and then goes like that into the overnight. We'll see. The hour is negative. So let's look at our square 9 since I didn't use it this morning. We went as high as what, I don't know, is it 212 around there? And then kind of stalled, took out 205, 204, already at 196, took out 197, which is 135 degree. So we're entering the sweet spot between 190 and 183 right here, gap fill. This is the sweet spot. If 190 holds, the 90 degree, we'll probably chop around here. But if 190 doesn't hold, it could probably be anywhere between 197 all the way to 193. And thinking outside the box, if they really, once we get here and here, if they really want to get some bears trapped, this is where they want to push it. 177, 176, and then rip it back up, get all those stops, and start just, hunting stops and just pushing higher and higher and ride possibly this August, September, maybe even October rally, especially with the heat and all this stuff. So this is kind of where I'm leaning at in regards to the catalyst that could possibly play out. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Is it hot where you at? I know I got some mates from Australia. I don't know. Maybe in Asia. I don't know where you guys are from. I know it's pretty broad and pretty spread out, but I know in the U.S. here, it is hot, especially in Nashville. Very humid, very hot. And the numbers, I don't know why the numbers is not reflecting all this usage unless we have just so much gas. I'm just trying to figure it out, wrap my head around it. But in regards to price, this is what I'm kind of telling you. We're here. Keep an eye out for 194, even 189, 184, 194, 189, 190 is just this, key area right here. 196 is where we stall. 194 area right here, but then the gap fill will come between here and here, 184 and 183. Like I said, if they really want to get some bears, once this gap fill is filled, they might push it to 177, 176, and then turn. And if they really want to get some bears and get them really excited and get the Black Widow excited, maybe 169, 166. That's really extreme. If it gets down there, I might just, buy an ETF or something or pick something up because that's very extreme. But that's just me just kind of thinking outside the box. Yep. I'm going to sign out. Hopefully you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on that gas.